Good morning, everyone. My name is Sonia Romano from the Watcher Post EU, and you're watching A View from Brussels. Today, we're here joined by Leire, who is a member of the European Parliament and a long-standing figure in the Spanish and European politics. She has been Spain's Minister of Health and Secretary of State for International Cooperation, and now focuses on development, humanitarian aid, and public health with a strong interest in Latin American and EU relations. Thank you very much for being here today.
It's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you.
So to start off and get a sense of your background, I'd like to ask what motivated you to move from national politics to European Parliament, and what did you think you could do at the EU level that wasn't possible before?
Well, during the last 10, 12 years, I've been out of the first line of politics. I've been working in a global health research institute and, of course, very active in different foundations, working on sustainable development and also on relationships between European Union and Latin America and Caribbean. I was the president of ULAC Foundation. So I was like, of course, making politics, but from the other side of the river. But I came back to the Parliament and to the European Parliament, thinking in the crucial moment. I really think that we are living in European Union. I really think that we are in a very challenging moment for the future.
Yeah.
We have many trends for democracy, for our project, like we have known during the last 15 years. And that's why, I thought, okay, it's time to come back, to try to work on a better and stronger European Union. And I'm here again to try to learn, but also to work hard in terms of better and stronger European Union, democracy and freedom.
Okay, so having seen both sides of the system, I'm curious to know, has working at the European level changed the way you see the role of Europe in such areas like development, public health, and crisis response compared to your previous time in national government?
Well, always I was working with this global dimension, because all the topics we are talking about, I mean, of course, health, but also gender equality or development policy, are policies that that are very connected with the rest of the world. I really think that the pandemic show us that we have no domestic problems and external problems, or national problems or international problems. All of them are very connected. So for me, the most important issue here is try to follow this global dimension of health, global dimension of environment. And that's why I'm very committed, and I'm participating in different committees, but with different topics, but all of them are very connected in this global dimension. For example, now I'm working on the European civil protection mechanisms, to prepare more European Union in terms to how we can anticipate the response to the big challenges we have today. For example, wildfires, outbreaks, but also, climate disasters. And it's very important to know that this kind of challenges are very connected with the problems other countries have also. For example, if we are working on strengthen the capacities of European Union to respond to a pandemic, then we need to work not only in terms of European Union, we need to build partnerships with other countries, share information, try to be sure that they have also capacity to the response, to anticipate the vision and the situation. So I really think that the global dimension is the best approach, to to face the challenges we have today. So I'm working in all of these topics, but very connected between national and external challenges.
Yeah. Okay. So looking at Europe's role beyond its borders, EU-Latin American relations have gained new momentum in recent years. How would you describe the partnership today, and what is still missing for it to become truly balanced?
Well, I think in the current geopolitical context, European Union must to build new and stronger partnerships with other regions of the world. And of course, in my opinion, Latin American Caribbean region is the best partner for European Union. Why? First of all, because we share the same values, democracy, freedom, but also the prioritization of, for example, a green agenda, multilateralism, the commitment with international development goals. So we have the same values. But secondly, because of course we can work together in a global context and be stronger, and we can sign different trade agreements that are very important for both regions, but also political agreements to work together in G20 or in UN, having more a stronger position and try to push different global agendas. So I really think this is the moment, to strengthen the partnerships with Latin American, Caribbean, but also with Africa, with Canada, with Asia also, because the current geopolitical context is very difficult. And I really think that it's the time to change our alliances and to strengthen these global partnerships.
Indeed. And as you certainly know, Venezuela is currently at the center of international tension, particularly with strong moves by the United States.
Yeah.
How does the EU stay true to its values and humanitarian commitment in this regard?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I really think that in the case of Venezuela, the European Union must remain fully consistent with its values. For us, it's very clear. We 1 year ago we denounced the lack of, for example, of legitimacy of recent elections, and of course the legitimacy of Nicolas Maduro's inauguration. That's very clear. But at the same time, we are saying that we need to stand up against the violation of international law in the case of USA government last fact. So I really think that we need to, like European Union, we need to strengthen the capacity to accompany Venezuela's people in order to guarantee the democracy and the freedom, because they must be, they're really protagonists of their future. And that's why we are demanding to the European Union to have a strong role in terms of humanitarian diplomacy, but also political diplomacy, and try to ensure the real freedom and to have real elections very soon, and try to ensure that democracy is developing in this country that is very close for us and very important also for the region.
Yeah. Okay, so building a little bit on that, and given your experience as a rapporteur on the European Parliament's report on humanitarian aid, when you look at long-standing crises, what does effective humanitarian aid look like in practice, and where can the EU policy still improve?
Yeah. Well, I think that now, today, we are living maybe in the most risking time in terms of humanitarian situation in the world. We are facing many humanitarian crises in different parts of the world, of course in Venezuela, but also in Sudan, Gaza, and other countries. And at the same time, maybe we are in the most dangerous moment in terms of humanitarian diplomacy, but also facing the highest gap in terms of funding. So we have huge challenges, huge humanitarian challenges. At the same time, we have a huge gap in terms of funding. That's why we need to prioritize. We need to strengthen the leadership of European Union in the world and try to be effective and try to be very clear in order to achieve our specific goals. That's why we are demanding to European Union, first of all, to strengthen the capacity of humanitarian diplomacy, because it's important to have, of course, important budget in terms of humanitarian aid, but also it's very important to guarantee the access of this aid. Second, I really think that now in the current geopolitical context, European Union must to strengthen their capacity to be the leader in terms of humanitarian aid and in terms of also humanitarian policy. And third, well, we really think that we need to take more in account the local actors, strengthen the capacities of local actors, because they are on the field, they know very well the real situation. So we need to work closer with them and try to combine the international response with the local reaction. And we are working on that and trying to bring all the knowledge we have on the field, on UN, on international institutions, to coordinate all this effort and try to strengthen the capacity of European Union to be a really important player in terms of humanitarian aid.
So beyond geopolitics, there's also the reality on the ground, right? So in global health today, where do you see the biggest disconnect between high-level strategies and what actually happens on the ground?
Well, again, first of all, I really think that we need to have more capacities to anticipate the challenges and then to respond more effectively. And to do that, we need to strengthen the capacities in European Union, but also in the Global South. Try to be sure that countries like Senegal, where we are working very hard, or Latin America and Caribbean again, or Asia, has the same capacities, to respond to the outbreaks or to the public health challenges with resources, with training, with capacities. And that's why we are saying to the European Union that we need to work with, for example, with Global Gateway Instrument to strengthen these capacities. We have some examples. For example, we are working in Senegal to guarantee the access for medicines and vaccines to the rest of Africa, or we are also working with Latin America to strengthen the capacities of research. So it's very important to work together, share information, share data, and work together to anticipate and also to respond better to the public health challenges.
Okay. Now, pivoting a little bit to current priorities, how can the EU balance protecting its own citizens while also acting responsibly as a global health partner?
I really think that working on have more stability in the world is to work for the security of our people. I mean, in other words, I think that we cannot, for example, talk about the well-being of European citizens, or the security of European citizens, if we are not thinking on the human rights on the Global South, or the stability of the rest of countries, or the peace in the countries or in our very close countries. I mean, for us, the stability and the well-being of our people is very connected with the well-being of the rest of the world. And I really think, again, that during the pandemic, we have learned that if the rest of the world is not saved, then we cannot save. So it's very important, to work together and to build these partnerships, to identify common goals, common challenges, and work together to respond to them.
Okay. Finally, looking ahead, what do you think, or what do you hope to achieve actually in your work on development, humanitarian aid, and public health for the rest of this parliamentary term and beyond?
Well, my goal is, first of all, try to build a big consensus. I'm happy because in this difficult world we are facing, last week we have a strong support from different political parties to the humanitarian aid report that I was leading. And I really think that it's very important to have a strong voice in the development committee, to ask and to demand to European Union to be a leader in these topics. That's why we're trying, to build consensus, to work with different political groups, to try to say, okay, we can have, of course, different point of views, but it's very important to try to identify a common goal. Now we have the debate of the next MFF, the budget for European Union for the next period.
Yeah.
And in this debate, it's very important to have a strong voice from the development committee to say, okay, this budget is important also to face these global challenges. So we are now working together in order to say, okay, we need more funding to respond to all of these challenges we were talking about during the last minute. So we are working hard, but I think we have the opportunity to move forward and do better. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time, for your sharing your insight with us. Thank you everyone from home from following. And this is Sonia Romano from the Watcher Post EU, and see you at the next episode of A View from Brussels.